This is the BBC News with Fiona MacDonald. A judge in Minneapolis has sentenced the former US police officer Derek Chauvin to 22 years in prison for the murder of George Floyd. In his remarks, the judge acknowledged the pain of the Floyd family, but said he wasn't basing his sentence on emotion or public opinion.
As sentenced for count one, the court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months. That's 270. That is a 10-year addition to the presumptive sentence of 150 months.
Earlier, the court heard emotional testimony from the relatives of George Floyd. Mr. Floyd's 7-year-old daughter said she thought about her father all the time. Mr. Floyd's brother Terence had called for the white police officer to receive the same tough sentence he said a black convict would receive.
We don't want to see no more slaps on the wrist. We've been through that already. In my community, in my culture, we've been through that already. Smacked on the wrist. No.
The head of the World Health Organization has warned that the international community is making the same mistakes over the coronavirus pandemic as it did with HIV and AIDS. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said HIV had taken 10 years to reach low-income countries when it was already rampant in the developed world. Imogen Foulkes reports from Geneva.
Across Europe, restrictions are being relaxed, travel is becoming easier. But today, the WHO said the situation remained incredibly fragile. The Delta variant is spreading faster than any previous variant. Officials warned there would be consequences for the large gatherings being seen in Europe now, including at football matches. But wealthy countries are vaccinating fast and have some protection. In Africa, just 2% of the population have received a vaccine. The situation there is very dangerous, the WHO said.
Police in Germany say 3 people have been killed by a man with a knife who attacked passers-by in the central city of Würzburg. Others are injured, some seriously. Jenny Hill reports from Berlin.
Armed with a large knife, the man attacked passers-by, apparently at random. Members of the public tried to stop him, but it took armed police to overwhelm him, and he was shot in the leg before being arrested and taken to hospital. It's still not clear what motivated such a vicious and deadly attack, but police say the man, a 24-year-old Somalian citizen who'd lived in Würzburg since 2015, was known to them. He'd been violent and mentally unstable in recent months and had recently received psychiatric treatment. A police spokesman said that while the suspect had a criminal record, none of his previous offences was related to terrorism.
You're listening to the latest world news from the BBC in London. The charity Médecins Sans Frontières says 3 of its staff members have been killed in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region. A statement from the charity said contact with the team had been lost on Thursday as they were driving in Tigray providing assistance. The US state of Georgia is being sued by the Biden administration over a controversial new voting rights bill which was passed after the 2020 general election. The US Attorney General Merrick Garland said the law was enacted with the purpose of denying or abridging the voting right of black Georgians. Republicans who control the state assembly deny that. Officials in Florida say the apartment block that collapsed near Miami on Thursday, leaving more than 150 people missing, was due to undergo extensive repairs this year. US media reports suggest there was concrete deterioration and corrosion of steel in the structure, although there's no evidence that this caused the collapse. 4 people are confirmed dead, and a major operation is continuing to search for survivors as well as more bodies. The building, which had been affected in the past by subsidence, was in the middle of a survey and repair programme required every 40 years. We're now going to be able to... Chinese researchers have discovered that the skull of what they believe is a new species of human, which they think may be our closest evolutionary relative. Details published in the journal The Innovation say the human known as Dragon Man lived in Asia nearly 150,000 years ago, at around the same time as our species was in Africa. And a recap of our main story: a judge in Minneapolis has sentenced the former US police officer Derek Chauvin to 22 years in prison for the murder of George Floyd. BBC News.